Anong items to? Number 10, yung mahirap. Number 35. Ano to? Yung following is from autistic disorder. Di ba na-discuss na natin ito? So, alam niyo na kung ano yung hugot ng questions. No? You need to know the onset, duration. So hindi lang signs and symptoms ang dapat ninyong alam, but you also need to know the expected onset, how long should it take, or will it be forever already that needs to be managed. So kailangan alam nyo, and also with the occurrence between gender and other factors when it comes to the epidemiology of this disorder. So ito, alam niyo na to. Once you know that, madali na sagutin yung number 35. So obviously, kaya maraming nagkamali doon, hindi lang nila alam. So that's the reason why we're doing the mock exam. We're sniffing all the things that you don't know. Ano yung 34? Ano number 34? Oh, madali lang yan na. Ano nangyari sa inyo? Gusto niyo hagis ko sa bitana? Madali lang yung 34 ah. Oh, commonly administered. Oh. Madali lang yan. Oo. Oh, letter boy. Diba? Kasi, mini-mental status exam is for cognitive impairment. Sino ba sa mga to ang most of the time will have a cognitive impairment that needs to be measured using the MMSE. Diba? So, most of the time it's letter B. Pero that does not discount that letter dog may also have cognitive impairment. Pero that's not the way to assess. And most of the time, it's the older adults who compose the population of people na talagang expect nyo mag-administer kayo ng MMSE. The children, hindi. Iba ang assessment natin for the children. Although that does not discount also that they can have cognitive impairment as well. Pero, kaunti lang sila compared do sa letter boy. Kaya ang tinatanong most commonly administered. Diba? Kaya yung mga MOCA test, MMSE, most of the time, pag matanda ang client nyo, you try to check kung kailangan mag-assess ng cognitive impairment. Kasi nga, di ba, alam nyo ang importansya na pag-assess ng cognitive impairment. We want to what? We want to intervene as early as possible. Kasi pag nag-proceed na sila sa major cognitive impairment, wala na, atrasa. Okay? O, ano yung 55? At mahirap. At number ano na ba tayo sa ratio natin? 51. O sige, mag-proceed na muna tayo sa 51. So, and then habang madadaan na natin yung items, we just go on with the items. Okay, so 51, which of the following is not an indicator of a good prognosis for major depression? Not an indicator of good, so ibig sabihin hindi siya good prognosis. Okay, sa major depression. 51, dapat nasagot nyo ay ano? C. Oh. Alam niyo naman na kung anong reason, di ba? The more relapse or the more occurrences of this or episodes of depression, the more that it's poor ang prognosis. Diba? Compared naman doon sa one case lang or magkaroon man ng relapse after 10 years. No? So you need to account for the length between the relapse, how many relapse, and also the severity, yung quality of the disorder or the relapse. Kasi ang expectation, every relapse mas nagiging worse yung quality and even quantity of the symptoms. Kumpara doon sa first time siya nagkaroon ng schizophrenia or depression versus doon sa ika-5 time, fifth episode niya na ito, all throughout, kapalagin natin within the 20-year time, ika-fifth niya. So, we can expect mas malala yung symptoms. So, please do account for those information. So, 51, it's letter C. Okay. How about in 52? All of the following are common causes of misdiagnosis between mood disorder and schizophrenia except, so ito medyo nakakalito yung ganitong klase ng phrasing, Kasi misdiagnosis, except. So, intindihin nyo muna yung unang diwa ng tanong. Bakit nagkakaroon ng misdiagnosis between schizophrenia and mood disorder? So, hanapin nyo yun dyan sa choices. Merong isa dyan na iiba. Kasi hindi siya common misdiagnosis. So, kumbaga, hanapin nyo lang yung truth behind all these choices, tsaka kayo kumuha ng decision. No? Kasi nakakalitin, double negative eh. Misdiagnosis, and then you have the except. Diba? So, tignan muna natin. Common causes of misdiagnosis. Ba't nalilito tayo mag-diagnose ng mood disorder at schizophrenia? Siyempre, pinakamadaling sagot yan, most of the time, they have overlap of symptoms. Diba? So, yun yung pinakunang mental picture mo regarding this idea of the question. Oh, so, tingnan natin yung letter A. Reliance on longitudinal rather than cross-sectional picture. Oh, would that be a common cause of misdiagnosis? How about letter B? Flight of ideas perceived as loose association. Would that be a common misdiagnosis? Pwede, no? Dahil yung flight of ideas, kahit nga kayo ay minsan you can mistake it with, or you can confuse it with loose association, and you know already the difference between the two. So, posible yun. Yung flight of ideas, saan yan common? Mood disorder or schizophrenia? Of course, we can assume both of this will appear between the two, pero alin sa dalawa yung mas common? Yung flight of ideas with what? Probably with mood disorder. Yung loose association, mas malala kasi siya eh. Mas malala yung pagka-thought disturbance niya. That would be more on the schizophrenia. Pero that does not discount that these two can also appear with each other. Okay? How about ascribing irritable mood to paranoid delusions? Pwede, no? I mean, common yan. Dahil magkahawig. Irritable. Parang laging galit. So, it might be construed as paranoid delusion because feeling niya lahat ng taong may iniisip sa kanyang mali, masamang gawin, etc. So, yung outlook niya sa buhay, gano'n, laging irritable, ganun. That's a possibility. Okay? So, ang idea ng question na to is there are overlaps in signs and symptoms between the two. Kaya nagkakaroon ng misdiagnosis. How about in letter dog? Mistaking depressive depersonalization for schizophrenic emotional blunting. Ayan, maganda yan. Mood disorder kasi hindi naman just the bipolar disorder. The mood disorder is what? An umbrella term for bipolar disorders, depression, those constellation of disorders, no? So, kung meron kang depressive depersonalization, or the idea is that you are depressed, so that can also be confused with emotional blunting ng clients with schizophrenia. Diba? Dahil all of them may They may show emotional blunting, blunt affect. At kung sa schizophrenia client mangyari yon, that will what? That's called negative symptom. That's part of the negative symptoms. Pero kapag sa client naman na with depression, with a mood disorder, specifically depression, that is part of the sad mood or the depressive mood that person is actually experiencing at the moment. Now, nakakalito rin yan when it comes to differential diagnosis. Kasi when it comes to clients with schizophrenia, are we looking into a negative symptom or are we really looking into a comorbid depression? Kasi clients with schizophrenia may also be what? Predisposed to feelings of depression because they're having problems with socialization, they're having problems understanding certain cues in the environment, so hindi sila makasabay when it comes to social interaction. So yeah, anyway, that's just an added idea. Pero how about the letter E? Incomplete inter-episodic recovery equated with schizophrenic defect. Ano naman ang idea dyan? So the idea is, clients with mood disorders, particularly bipolar disorders, the more that they cycle when it comes to their relapse, no? Pag relapse, remission, tapos relapse again, etc. No? The more that they cannot recover fully, or the symptoms, sabi ko nga sa inyo, are getting what? Getting worse as they go along with each of these relapse. Ganun din sa schizophrenia eh. No, the delusions and hallucinations are getting worse. Sometimes getting more bizarre. It's getting more strong. No, I mean, some of our clients in the past, wala naman silang ganun delusion, pero after 2 or 3 relapses, na-admit sila sa amin for a period of 3 years, so parang every 1 year. Yung client na yun, masyado nang marami siyang na-form na delusion, tapos ayaw nang matanggal. Alam niyo, it just lingers to them. Nababawasan lang ng strength kapag nagkakaroon ng partial remission, pero andun pa din eh. Especially when they go to relapse. So kumbaga, there might be this incomplete recovery, or they are more predisposed to have partial remission. So ibig sabihin, D, C, D, and E are all similar in nature. They're telling us that there's similarity when it comes to the symptomatology of mood disorders and clients with schizophrenia. So anong problema, or bakit letter A ang hindi common misdiagnosis? Why is letter A not a misdiagnosis, but actually will help you what? Determine, or at least give you an idea if this is mood disorder or schizophrenia. Bakit? Ano ba sabi niya? Reliance on longitudinal rather than cross-sectional picture. Saan magme-make sense itong longitudinal view of this certain disorder para magkaroon kayo ng confidence na, this is really this disorder? If we're talking kasi longitudinal, we're talking about the duration. No? And also, not only duration, but also the number of occurrences of this disorder. And also the quality within those occurrences. So, alin sa dalawa, it might be that the mood disorder will benefit more on the longitudinal assessment, no, or take of the signs and symptoms. Bakit? Di ba, you can still remember, hindi ka naman basta-basta makakapag-diagnose ng bipolar disorder if you don't know the whole history. You need to take into consideration. Kasi sometimes, clients are depressed for almost 5 years. No? Nagsa-cycle siya to major depression, tapos nakaka-recover, then major depression, tapos mag-remission. Pero after a certain amount of time, magkakaroon ng manic episode. So mag-iiba yung kanyang diagnosis. Unlike with the schizophrenia, most of the time, if you really pin down the signs and symptoms as client is having a schizophrenia, then that's it. No? I mean, you will just monitor all throughout their history kung mananatili sila sa schizophrenia diagnosis. Unless we can really qualify na after a certain amount of time, mas mabigat na yung or mas prominent na yung mood concerns. Kasi yun, po pwede magkaroon ng misdiagnosis. Sa umpisa, akala nila schizophrenia. Kasi may delusions and hallucination. Hindi naman nila nakitaan, or at least the clinician felt that the mood concerns are not that prominent. So, ang diagnosis niya, schizophrenia. Pero all throughout 10 years, 20 years, o palagay niyo ika-5th relapse, o ika-3rd relapse, parang nakikita nila prominent yung mood concerns. it will give us a hint na baka hindi siya schizophrenia, baka mood disorder with psychotic feature. Hindi lang nakita or hindi lang prominent in the past. So, kung pwede mabaligtad yung diagnosis. So, ibig sabihin, the way you look into the disorder longitudinally will help you what? Will help you really give the better diagnosis if it's really mood disorder or schizophrenia. So, it's letter A, that's the answer, okay? And probably if you are really confused with this, the way the question is phrased, you can actually have the hint. No? You just check which of the items are common to each other. Makikita nyo, B, C, D, and E are actually telling us a similar idea compared to sa letter A. Probably some of you were able to get the idea or the answer by just thinking about that logic. So yun. So number 53. Features of anhedonia may include all of the following except it's letter A. Tama. 53, letter A, derealization. And you know derealization appears to the other, not with anhedonia. Okay? So 54. 28-year-old woman present to clinic with a chief complaint of fatigue. She states that the feeling of being tired has persisted for the past 4 years. Lost pounds, past 2 years, admits to overeating. Patient states that she sleeps at least 11 hours per night. Denies suicidal ideation but complains about not being able to concentrate. 54, it's more of letter boy. No? You know, this is the chronic depression that we know, the persistent depressive episode. Dysthymia, or in layman's term, is really the chronic depression. Now, between the two, between the major depressive episode and the persistent depression, sino kaya ang may worse prognosis or poor prognosis? All else equal, it would be the chronic depression. Kasi for most often than not, they are sad. I mean, that's really something. It's really bothering. I mean, if you have a patient na gano'n ang buhay niya for over 2 years, laging malungkot. Versus dun sa isang tao na darating sa'yo, nagkaroon siya ng major depression kasi more than 2 weeks na siyang depressed. Alam mo na dati, hindi naman siya depressed. Okay siyang tao, kaya lang, there's some triggers, there's some event that might precipitate the major depressive episode. And when you intervene, probably that will go away. Most of the time, if we're able to help the client have some cognitive restructuring or help them go along with a certain stress or babalik siya sa dati, o okay siya. Pero ito sa chronic depression, we need to really look into the situation. At saka, parang style of life niya na yun, na lagi siyang malungkot. That's problematic. Pero if the major depressive episode is of a severe quality, di ba remember there are severity measures for this. So may mild, moderate, and severe depression. So clients with severe depression yun, medyo hindi okay ang prognosis niya. That might equal with the chronic depression. No? So titimpangin nyo rin when it comes to the severity of symptoms, the number of symptoms, the quality. Yun. Okay? Number 55. Which of the following statements regarding anxiety and gender differences is true? Sagot sa 55, it's letter boy. They are nearly equal with OCD. Okay? How about 56? Teka, balik lang tayo sa 55 para i-explain lang natin. No? So, mali yung letter A. Bakit mali yung letter A sa 55? Di ba dapat women have higher rates? Sa anxiety disorder, mas marami ang females kaysa sa males. Pero sa OCD, relatively it's the males who have higher yung OCPD ang males. Yung OCD, they're equal. Okay? So the idea that there are gender differences between anxiety disorder versus OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, that already gives us a clue that there might be a different mechanism between anxiety disorder and OCD, despite that the core symptom is anxiety. Nakuha niyo yung point? Even in medication, clients with OCD have a different set of medication versus clients with anxiety disorder like GAD, social phobia, etc. No? So that's the idea here, no? So, mali rin yung letter dog, twofold greater, dapat given yun no? Mali rin yung letter C. Average age onset. The average age onset versus the gender parehas lang with anxiety disorder. Sa yung letter C, parehas lang, hindi siya significant difference. Ang may significant difference between the age onset vis-a-vis gender is what? Schizophrenia. Naalala nyo, di ba? Mas nauuna yung males magkaroon ng schizophrenia versus the females on the average. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, may interaction din pala ang gender at age when it comes to the onset. No? So, please take note of that. Those things are actually, you don't have any other way but to just familiarize yourself, memorize it if you can, if you want to memorize it. Kasi yun lang talaga yun. We don't have any other way but to just familiarize yourself. Para makakasagot kayo sa mga ganitong klase ng questions. Okay? 56. Sigmund Freud postulated that defense necessary in phobias are what? So the best answer is letter C. Repression, displacement, and avoidance. You know, avoidance is very obvious with phobia. Diba? The displacement is, the idea is you are anxious or stressful about a certain thing, so you displace it to a certain object or a certain whatever object. That will lead you to having phobia. Of course, repression is something working here. And the person may not be aware of the real stressor. Kaya nangyayari na di-displace niya sa isang object or a certain event. That leads to phobia. Okay? Unlike with the other choices, medyo malabo yung mechanism with A, B, and T. That's not the way you do phobia. No? Remember yung letter dog, no? Although tama yung repression and displacement, pero yung projection hindi. Kasi yung projection, you're blaming someone else for your mistakes or for whatever happened to you. Hindi naman ganun yung phobia, di ba? Sir, baka pwede rin kasi kaya ako takot sa spiders kasi nakakatakot sila. Hindi, joke. Kalokohan lang yan. That's not the way to do it here. It's letter C. 56 letter C. Okay, 57. A 23-year-old woman presents to clinic with chief complaint of difficulty concentrating. I worry about my child. She had recently gone back to teaching after her third child. Patient stage, she is constantly wondering about other things as well. Like going to help sister-in-law. Ang dami niyang no? So obviously, alam niyo na sagot dito, no? It's more of generalized anxiety disorder, no? Of course, there's a very specific way of diagnosing the disorders, no? Not just GAD, but in all the disorders. Pero the question here is already hinting you about lots of worries. So, kumbaga, it's already a signature kind of question when it comes to GAD. No? So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, you just need to choose the best answer for these kinds of questions. Okay? 58. A 33-year-old presents psychiatric evaluation, making suicidal threats, long-standing pattern of self-mutilation, impulsiveness, no relationship lasting for 1 month. It gives you a hint already of what? 58 is letter dog, borderline TD. So kung mapapansin nyo, ang una niyang tirada, suicidal ideation. Eh most of the time kapag suicidal threats, ganyan ang nasa isip natin, depression. Pero the question gives you already the idea that the following signs and symptoms is borderline TD. Eh buti na lang walang depression. It's an interplay between the personality disorder. Madali niyo makikita. Okay? Anyway, 59. Chris feels anger towards his sister getting all the attention, begins playing roughly with her whenever he gets the chance. Ano kaya ang pinaka-best description of this when it comes to a defenseman? 59th letter, A, acting out. No? Especially with children, no? They tend to act out their anxiety or their stress. Oo, nagtatantrums yan. It's acting out. 60. The most frequent presenting complaint of parents about their child with autism. Oh, imagine yung sarili nyo, may darating na parent, magpapa-diagnose, magpapa-verify if their children have autism or not. Ano kaya sa tingin nyo ang unang-una nilang i-report? Bakit kaya nila naisip na yung anak nila baka may autism? Number 16 letter. Ano sagot nyo? Letter? Boy. Delays in acquisition in language. Kasi mag-1-year-old na, hindi pa masyado nagsasalita. Yung anak ko nga 3 months na, grabe ng hindi na ako nag-a-alarm sa umaga kasi pag di umaga, between 7 to 9 o'clock ng umaga, talagang nagsasalita siya parang manok. Nag-feel mo nga nagrarasyo eh. Sabi ng asawa ko, bago daw yung nagsalita, parang few days ago, sa bahay kasi ako nag-webcon with the TLP. So, dire-diretso ako. Maaga, 7 o'clock pa lang nag-webcon na. So, yun, ginaya siguro nung anak ko. So, yun, imagine 3 months, the child is already blurting out lots of words. Ewan kung words nga talaga sa kanya yun. Pero if you have a parent na 1-year-old na yung anak nila, pero halos wala pang binabanggit yung bata, that's something else. That's certain delay. So, kailangan nyo magkaroon ng thorough assessment. Bakit may delay? Sa tingin nyo, anong unang-una yung differential diagnosis kapag ganyan? Dumating yung parent, yung anak ko hindi nagsasalita, hindi na tulad ng mga ibang bata. Yung pedya namin, para daw makasigurado, refer na kami dito sa clinic na to kasi mahirap na, baka autism daw, etc. etc. Sa kayo, anong unang-unang papasok sa isip nyo? Anong unang pinakamatik na, ano kaya sa tingin nyo? Hindi siya sasalita eh. Ako ang unang-una kong i-assess kung nakakadinig. Ano yung point? Baka may hindi siya nakakarinig kaya hindi siya nakakapagsalita. Pangalawang titignan nyo, check nyo yung bibig. Baka may problema sa dila, whatever. Those things make sense, no? So, ibig sabihin, kahit psychometrician kayo, that does not prevent you to assess other things that are actually practical, no? Mamaya hindi lang na-evaluate. Pero pag sinabi ng parent na, ay ma'am, na-evaluate na kasi yung yung sa audio something, may tawag din. When it comes to the hearing, na-evaluate na okay naman. O yun ang problema. With clients with autism, kailangan talaga ma-evaluate yun. Kasi kung sasabihin, ay sige, kakalansingan ko lang ng susi. Kasi di ba yung mga bata, pag ginalun mo, ako nga lang, maglalakad lang ako, chinelas lang, narinig na ng anak ko, nagigising na agad. Pag kinalansin mo yan, titingin siya. Ibig sabihin, narinig niya. Siyempre, hindi sa harap niya dahil makikita, dito, ganun mo. Pag lumingon, ibig sabihin nakakarinig. Pero with clients with autism, pag ginanyanan mo siya, whether nakakarinig siya o hindi, that does not give you a confidence na ma-assess mo kung may hindi siya. Bakit? Di ba remember, these children we have difficulty stimulating these children. I mean, the normal way of stimulating these children will not actually be similar with the children with normal patterns of development. They may not actually respond kahit na nakakarinig sila when it comes to this normal stimulus. Minsan nga kahit sobrang ingay na, they don't respond. Pero minsan naman, sobrang very vague naman yung sound, pero they respond inappropriately. So that's a difficulty. So you need to be, you need to take note of those instances, especially kapag naka-encounter na kayo ng ganitong klase ng bata. Okay? So, number 61. Relative strengths of children with autism in psychological testing include which of the following? The best answer in 61 is what? Letter C. No, for whatever reason, they have this attention and focus to numbers, to their toys, especially pag naglalaro na sila, yung nag-stack sila ng mga toys. Minsan pinagpipila-pila nila yung mga toys. No? So, they enjoy that kind of play, no? That they need to focus. No? So, that might be a strength. 62. Major depressive episode in school-age children is letter A. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, the DSM-5 criteria are adult criteria. There might be a different way of expressing the signs and symptoms when it comes to children. So, kailangan alam nyo kung paano siya. The big DSM-5 manual will give you a guideline. Meron doon. Pero yung criteria, kung criteria lang, wala. It's just the adult criteria. So, if you are into clinical assessment talaga, you need to have that big DSM-5 book. Okay? And that's actually very difficult for children. Kasi as anxious sila, nabully sila, depressed sila, mababa grades nila, may problema sila sa crush nila, natalo sila sa competition, whatever, lahat sila, they may present as tantrums. Parang hindi lang kasi nila ma-express paano nila i-express yung frustration nila. Hindi nila alam paano i-express yung anxiety nila. Hindi nila alam paano i-express na nabully pala sila, etc. No. So, pare-pare sila lahat tantrum. So, yun, mahirap yun para sa assessment ng children. You need to have the clinical eye to really sniff into these signs and symptoms. You also need to assess or to ask the observation of the teachers and also the parents para ma-align nyo lahat ng mga observation na nakikita ninyo. Kasi kung tantrums lang, maraming pwedeng dahilan. For all we know, hindi lang siya nabilan ng toy. As simple as that. We just don't know. No? So it's up to your assessment, comprehensive assessment, to really diagnose this. 63. A therapist gets assigned a new patient. Looking at the materials patient filled out in the waiting area, he finds out that the patient has a substance abuse. Sabi niya, stupid drug addicts. Obosin niya. They're so annoying. No, I hate drug addicts. 63, yan ay probably example na that's countertransference. Countertransference. Okay? So yan yung idea na you generalize your feeling or your sentiment to this person kasi that person has that attribute similar to the people that you really hate. No? Transference kapag hindi ikaw yung clinician. Pero counter-transference dahil siya yung therapist o siya yung psychometrician o siya yung nurse, siya yung doctor at yun yung nararamdaman niya sa patient niya, counter-transference ang tawag doon. No? Kasi yung transference patient, yun ang nararanasan niya with the other people. So, the patient can also have a feelings of transference to the clinician or to the therapist or to the psychometrician. So, halimbawa, yung therapist talaga napakabait. Parang nanay ang approach. So, ngayon siya, feeling niya, tulad siya ng nanay niya, mabait, kaya siya, ganun din, no? Nagpa-participate siya, etc. No? So, transference and counter-transference are technically what? Barriers to good what? Therapeutic relationship. So, di ba dapat the clinician or the therapist or the psychometrician versus the patient, dapat yung professional ang ang relationship with each other, ang therapeutic relationship with each other should be professional in nature. So if they feel counter-transference or they feel transference with each other, hindi okay doon. Except for some of therapeutic modalities wherein they really foster transference. May ganun eh. Familiar ba kayo doon? Yung, I think with Rogerian kind of therapy, can you verify it with me? Na parang they wanted to recreate the relationship. So, halimbawa, if this patient is having problems with their mother, so ngayon yung therapist will try to act as the mother para mag-role play sila. So at that situation, but it's controlled, no? It's controlled and the therapist really knows what they're doing. So that therapist may allow the patient to have some feelings of transference so that they can role play with each other. And the therapist can actually try to model or recreate the scenario na mag-mend yung concerns between with the patient and the mother. Parang gano'n. No? But that's a very controlled scenario and the therapist knows what's happening there. So that's probably an exception to the rule, if you can call it exception, or if you can even call it a transference, no? Because they're actually role-playing with each other. Anyway, number ano tayo? Number 64. A chronic schizophrenic has been taking medication for 20 years. Pero hindi surprising yun, no? Every morning, he goes to his pill bottle, takes the pills his doctor prescribed. Ang tawag dyan ay tertiary prevention, letter C. Compliant siya sa medication, no? For over 20 years, sinusunod niya yan. So, hindi nakakapagtaka na ang clients with schizophrenia para may diabetes, forever na sila magte-take ng medication. Hindi nakakapagtaka yan. There was an instance wherein we encountered certain concern na sa mercury drug kasi, syempre, most of the Filipinos sa mercury drug bumibili ng gamot. Na-pull out yung gamot na chlorpromazine. Not necessarily pull out, pero pending approval. Kasi sa FDA, sa BFAD pala, sa BFAD, sa Bureau of Food and Drugs, syempre up to a certain period of time, papasa ulit ng application for approval yung mga pharmaceutical company. So, there was a time wherein chlorpromazine, yun yung brand, generic name, the brand name is Thorazine. Hindi na siya available sa market kasi hinihintay pang i-approve ng BFAD. Pero yun ang problema. Kasi dahil hinihintay approval, there's a certain number of weeks na hindi siya available sa market. So you can just imagine what's happening to the patient all around the Philippines. So there was a time na para kaming call center dun sa psychiatric facility namin. Kasi tawag na tawag yung mga previous clients namin na yung iba nga tagal-tagal na hindi na-admit. Kumbaga 5 years na hindi nagpapakita sa amin. Bigla tumatawag kasi namumroblema sila, hindi nila alam saan sila kukuha ng kanilang medication. Okay, sige, after, sabi namin, ay sige, tawag po kayo dito sa branch na to kasi parang meron pa yata sila stock. So parang nagkakaubusan, talagang, oo. After 1 week, after 2 weeks, naku, yung mga patient talaga nagtatawag na kasi, naano sila na, yung meron silang, for example, there's a patient na hindi na siya nakakatulog sa gabi. So early signs na yun, di ba? Early signs of relapse na. Kasi hindi available yung gamot. No? So, when it comes to schizophrenia, there should be a good compliance with medication, plus good compliance also to whatever therapeutic modality na kung every month ba sila sasama sa psychoeducation o every month ba sila pupunta sa kanilang psychologist. No? So, importante yun. Those are included in tertiary prevention. No? So, itong primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention, this is actually a parlance for all the health professionals. No? This is actually what we call the levels of prevention. So the approach when it comes to dealing with disorders or even diseases, no, is actually on the levels of prevention. So, paano yan? Sa primary prevention, wala pang signs and symptoms. Okay? Sa primary prevention, wala pa yung disorder. Wala pa siya sa acute phase. Okay? And the idea with the primary prevention is actually to prevent what? To prevent the appearance of any of these signs and symptoms. Or any of these triggers that will lead the client to having the acute concerns. That's the primary prevention. Okay? So the secondary prevention, ito naman, meron ng disorder. Or meron ng signs and symptoms. From prodromal phase going to the acute phase, or the client is in the acute phase already, ang kailangan na dyan, secondary prevention. No? Prevention pa rin ang term kasi the idea is, okay, may disorder na, may signs and symptoms, pero we don't want to further complicate the concerns. So, merong mga treatment modalities, may intervention na gagawin para ma-prevent na lumala pa yung sitwasyon. Okay? So, may intervention, of course, pero preventive din ang dating niya. So, parang offense-defense. No? Offense because you're trying to deal with the matter with prevention, with intervention, pero you're actually also preventing, you're actually defending the client from further complications. Okay? So, ano mga possible secondary prevention? Lahat na halos ng intervention na alam nyo. That will fall on the secondary prevention. Ngayon, pag sa tertiary prevention, yan ay client is already on the remission phase. Whether it's partial, full remission, ayun. That's a tertiary prevention. The idea naman sa tertiary prevention is we prevent relapse. We don't want the client to relapse or to have the early signs and symptoms again. Nagpapalik siya sa prodromal and acute phase. So, yun. Ang malingering, alam mo naman, that's a different idea. So that's not the idea of the question. Okay. So, balik lang tayo sa case na binanggit ko kanina. So, yung iba namin patient dati, ang ginawa namin, our psychiatrist suggested a different medication. Just for a certain period of time. Pero actually may risk doon eh. Kasi clients with who are already taking this medication for a long period of time, ano na sila doon, sanay na sila doon, hiyak na sila. So pag nagpalit sila ng medication, there might be certain changes in the side effect. O pwedeng mas lumala, or pwede namang hindi effective yung gamot na yun sa kanila. So yun, dilemma namin yun noon eh. Pero after a month or two yata, naging available na ulit yung medication. Okay? Kaya kami sa center namin dati, nagsistockpile kami ng gamot. Para kung magkaroon ng zombie apocalypse. Meron kaming medication. Okay? Ayun. Okay, number 65. Which of the following tests does not detect psychotic thought process? Nako, madali na ito. 65 letter. Ano sagot nyo? Boy. Dapat boy. Pero naaalala ko sa item analysis, marami pang nagkamali dito. No? Diyos ko Lord. Kasi there's a there is a common understanding that MMPI can be used in clinical assessment. Pero it cannot diagnose or detect psychotic thought process. Nor even quantify whatever. Hindi eh. No? It's the projective test. No? At makikita nyo naman, the nature of the other tests here, lahat sila projective. Draw a person, sentence completion, So, syempre sa draw person, marami kang pwedeng ma-assess dyan. Kung ano mang delusions meron siya when it comes to their social interaction, etc. Even with the sentence completion. So, yeah. So, obviously, is letter boy, MMPI. Please remember this test, this psychological test. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, the abnormal psychology is actually a nexus between assessment. No? So, kailangan, don't be surprised may mga ganitong klase ng question. Dapat. 66. Which of the following tests would be best used for testing executive functioning? O, Diyos ko Lord. 66, letter dog. Diba? Trail making test. Diba, inano ko pa yan? Nag-discuss pa tayo ng MOCA test. Tapos naalala nyo, diba, may drawing pa sa ibabaw? Yung 1A, 2B, 3. Diyos ko Lord. Diba? Ano yun? Yun yung trail making test for executive functioning. Naalala nyo sa MOCA test? Kaya nga yun diniscuss natin for an exercise. Kasi yung MOCA test itself can be an aid for you to review those cognitive functioning. May mga nagkamali pa dito. Pero please, you need to remember that these signs and symptoms have an appropriate way of assessing them. And there's an appropriate tools to assess them. Okay? Importante yun. Kasi kung ine-expect mo na itong client na to, meron siyang cognitive impairment, dapat alam mo yung mga assessment tools na ipe-prepare mo. Okay? So, may responsibility ang psychometrician not only to ask questions, but actually to prepare the tools, to prepare the materials that they need to prepare. So, problema yung kung bangingin kayo, hindi nyo masyado matandaan. So, yan actually the problem of novice clinician, not only psychometricians, but even psychologists. No? They just sit in front of the patient, ay, kung nga pala kailangan ko. So, wala na, isusulat ko lahat. So, problema. Baka nagkamali doon sa iba. For example, the brief psychiatric rating scales, it's not just executive functioning. Actually, less of the executive functioning, but it's assessing what? Lots of signs and symptoms. Delusion, negative symptoms, hallucination, feelings of anxiety, social withdrawal, stereotype behaviors, etc. Ang dami niyang ina-assess. Hindi siya about executive functioning. Okay. It asks about concentration, pero it's still not the executive functioning. You cannot really pin down executive functioning with BPRS. Of course, even with MMPI. TAT, of course, that's a different test altogether. Okay? Tandaan niya na. 67. Which one of the following is not true regarding MSE? Madali na ito. Dapat nasagot nyo letter C. Hindi thought content ang hallucination, di ba? Ano siya? Saan siya under? Sa perception. So, nililito-lito lang tayo sa question. Racing thoughts, tama yan, thought process. Blunted affect, yan, it describes affect. Delusions are part of thought content, tama. Circumstantiality thought content, tama. So, alam nyo na, ha? Nililito lang kayo. Kaya babasahin nyo mabuti yung items. 68. Self-mutilation is most common in which of the following personality disorder? This is relatively obvious. It's A, borderline people. 69. Which one of the following is not characteristics of narcissistic PD? 69. C. Dahil yung letter C yan ay more of histrionic. Pero you do understand that there are overlaps between the two? No? And there was even an effort that the narcissistic PD and histrionic PD will be merged in DSM-5. Isang disorder na lang sila. There was a movement. No? Because there are compelling researches that will lead us that narcissism is actually a special case of the histrionic PD. And epidemiologically wise, there are more relatively, there are more males in the narcissistic PD, there are relatively more females in the histrionic. So kumbaga, baka we're talking about we're just talking about one disorder na merong gender variances. Kasi yung clients with narcissistic PD, gusto rin nila maging center of attention eh. Pero on the way they do it, they try to inflate their self-esteem. I'm the best among the rest. For clients with histrionic, they do it in other ways, no? Para maka-catch ng attention. Parang you get the point. Pero anyway, there was even a movement wherein ang personality disorder sa DSM-5 dimensional na hindi categorical. You know that? You're familiar with that? Di ba ito categorical? Either you are schizoid, narcissistic, antisocial PD, or OCPD. Categorical yun, you categorize. There was a movement wherein gagawin siyang dimensional. So, they will have a certain kind of parang big 5 factors when it comes to personality concerns. Certain combinations of that, yun ikaw. Pero not in a categorical way. Meron ganon. That's actually a proposal in DSM-5. When the DSM-5 proposal actually released, there was even a book wherein they adopted that already. Kasi yung mga books, yung mga textbook, they're preparing to adopt the DSM-5. So, syempre, paunahan niya. Kung sino yung textbook na nakapag-adopt ng DSM-5, sila yung unang mabebenta. I think that's the book of Anne Kring. Meron ba dito magamit ng libro ni Anne Kring? There was a period in time wherein they release an update, tapos dimensional yung lumabas. Hanapin ko nga yung Ninja PDF ko doon. May nakita akong PDF na gano'n. Tapos, after, nung lumabas na talaga yung publication ng DSM-5, categorical na ulit. So, balik tayo sa dati. Anyway, that's just an added info. Pero it gives you the idea that, there are really certain overlaps with the signs and symptoms to the point that we may actually let ourselves in doing a dimensional take on the personality rather than categorical. Pero yun ang problema. Problema yun when it comes to recommendation and intervention. Kasi dimensional eh. So paano yun? Wala nang specific intervention for this group of people. Lahat individualized. Okay, individualized, all patients are unique. Pero when it comes to monitoring the progress, the effectiveness of a certain therapy vis-a-vis this group of people or this group of signs and symptoms, mahirap. So yun, naging problema yun when it comes to dimensional way of diagnosing things. Anyhow, number na tayo, 69. Which of the following is not characteristic of narcissistic PD? Ay, ano tayo? Number 17 na ba tayo? Oo nga, no? Nag-time lift na naman ako. 17. The brains of patient with schizophrenia often reveal enlargement with, alam niyo na ito, banggit ko, ventricles. Yung hippocampus kaya pag lumaki, lalaki rin yung memory. Di ba yung hippocampus sa memory? Hanapin ko nga, na-curious lang ako. Paano pag lumaki yun? Dahil lalaki din yung memory na. Joke lang. Baka lang, ewan. 71. Which one of the following would be listed under thought content in mental status exam? Nililito lang kayo, no? 72 letter. 71 letter. A. Obsession. Thought content yun. Diba? Kasi word salad, vitamin ideas, yung B, C, D, and E, that's the thought process, no? Or yung thought form. Yeah. Pero yung content, yung nilalaman, that's the obsession. Or yung iba, delusion, no? Another one is delusion. 72. Rapid cycling in bipolar 1 is what? Had blank mood over previous blank. 72 is letter boy. 4 cycles within 12 months. That's letter boy. 72 boy. So yun ang characteristic ng rapid cycling. Sa isang taon, 4 na beses magsa-cycle from mania, to depression, to hypomania, whatever. Ibig sabihin, napaka-erratic or unstable na mood. So ibig sabihin, poor or good prognosis. It's poor prognosis. So if the client is rapid cycler, poor ang prognosis niya. Actually, worse, no? One of the worst prognosis. Kasi ang dapat nga, stable ang personality. Stable ang mood. Okay? 70 na tayo. 73. Which one of the following best explains pathological gambling? 73, boy. Random reinforcement. Kaya nakaka-reinforce kasi hindi mo alam kung kailan ka mananalo. 70, ano na tayo? 4. A patient presents to emergency room because alcohol withdrawal. He and his family history of alcohol-induced blackout. Which one of the following memory problem is most consistent with induced blackouts regarding alcohol? 74, letter C. Most consistent. Ano ba yung blackout na yan? At anong kinaibahan niya sa confabulation? Alam na ano ninyo yung term na yon? So clients who are chronic alcohol users, regardless whether they are alcohol dependent or not, but if the alcohol already affected their system, such that there are already brain changes when it comes to, or physical changes when it comes to their system. So, blackouts and confabulation may happen. Okay? So, ang blackout, yan yung anterograde amnesia. You cannot form new memories. Nahihirapan silang makagawa ng bagong memory. Yung retrograde, yun yung nakakalimutan yung dati. Basically, clients who are chronic alcohol users may also experience letter boy. They may also experience it. Pero the most common presentation is the blackout, anterograde amnesia. Ano yung confabulation? Yung confabulation, nag-iimbento na lang ng detalye. Dahil hindi nila matandaan kung ano yung nangyari, mag-iimbento sila. Kung wala, kukwento sila. Akala mo naman, totoo. Yung pala gawa-gawa lang. Hindi naman talaga nangyari sa totoong buhay. Confabulation yun. Okay? Sir, nung kinaibahan ng confabulation sa delusion, that can, ito pwede, conscious din naman yung sa delusion eh. Paninindigan nila yun eh. Pero the best marker is actually the history of alcohol use. If you know that the client is really taking alcohol for a long period of time at meron na siyang changes in memory functioning. So whatever na sabihin niya, syempre kailangan mo i-verify. Check mo kung delusion ba to o naggagawa lang siya ng kwento. Ma-differentiate mo. Pwede yun. Kasi baka dumating kayo in the future, may ma-assess kayo, ay nag-iimbento ng kwento, delusion. Eh yun pala, baka sequel na lang yun na dahil chronic alcohol user siya. No? Nagko-confabulate pala. Clients with dementia can also confabulate. So clients with dementia, hindi siya delusion kung may mga sinasabi siyang kakaiba. Check nyo munang mabuti. Bakit niya sinasabi yun? Kasi baka gumagawa lang siya ng story to fill in certain gaps in memory. Confabulation din ang tawag. Okay? So number na tayo, 75. Malapit na oh. Grabe yun naman. Woo! Ayan. Dadali ko pa yung printer sa ano eh. 75. A patient with depression tells a therapist about variety of unpleasant personal circumstances that have occurred in past week. Worries about friends, being sad, reluctance to watch news, TV, because the only news in television is bad news. In theory, cognitive psychology, anong tawag dito? The best answer is letter boy. Selective attention bias. Okay? So siya, nakikita lang niya lahat ng negativities around them. So that's actually another way of developing depression. Kasi learned helplessness more of ano yan eh, behavioral eh. So, 70, yan na tayo, 6. Which of the following is not a component of skills training? Ito, madali lang to kung nakita nyo yung ano eh, yung keyword eh. So, dapat ang sagot ko sa 76 ay letter dog. Is not, di ba? A component. So kapag sa skills training, it's a combination already of CBT, no? Cognitive and behavioral approaches. So importante yung letter A for that. Importante yung letter boy. Even letter C. Ang hindi talaga dyan yung letter dog kasi unconscious symbolism, you know that it's way far already from the skills training or the needed mechanism for the skills training to proceed. Okay? 77. Which of the following situation is an example of client using projection? 77 letter dog. Obvious na yan, di ba? Ano yung letter A? Undoing. Undoing yan. Ano yung letter boy? Displacement. Diba? Ano yung letter C? A younger dresses like her mother. O, modeling yan, diba? Oo, yan. Identification, modeling. O yun ba, ano yung... yun, you need to... Di ba meron pang parang introjection, tama ba? No? You need to differentiate identification from introjection. Pero the nuance are very, very slim. It does not even warrant certain benefit in any therapeutic intervention. I mean, what's the point if you know it's identification versus introjection? The management is still the same. No? Parang ganun. Anyway. 70 na tayo. Yung 78 na. Yan na. Client says, tapos na, di ba? Client says, can we talk about something else other than this? 78, letter C. Obvious na yan, di ba? 79, the client cannot describe and remember detailed his embarrassing moment. Most probably, alam niyo na yan. 79, dog, repression. Kasi ang repression, involuntary. Suppression, voluntary. What? Voluntary or conscious forgetting of all those painful memories and painful experiences. Magkakatulog lang, no? Repression, regression, reaction formation. Oh. Alam niyo pinagkaiba-iba niyan, ha? 80, the client told you, I can do mental telepathy. 80, letter A, delusion of influence. 81, the client is being bothered by the idea she had premarital sex despite of her views. 81, ang sagot ay A, cognitive dissonance. 82, the client talks about her activity experience when suddenly she stops, cannot maintain her train of thoughts. Ano nangyari dyan? Blocking. Instituto, blocking. So there might be different reasons why clients are having blocking or thought blocking. Po pwedeng dahil stressful na yung pinag-uusapan nyo, automatic nagre-repression na siya. At ayaw niya na pagpatuloy yung usapan. Parang bigla na lang siya na blanco. No? Kasi, can you describe me your relationship with your best friend? Tapos bigla siya na blanco. Parang, ano ba? Nakalimutan niya, no? Parang na-repress, no? Automatic. No? Pero po pwede rin na-distract yung client. Biglang huminto, nag-usap kayo, biglang huminto. Yung pala may pinapakinggan na siya, So you may also want to ask whether the client is actually hearing something or some voices talking to them as of this moment. No, a generic way of asking it is, sir, you suddenly stopped talking. What's happening to you right now? As simple as that. No? As generic as that. Tapos saka nyo na lang mag-ano. No? What are you thinking at the moment? Or kung alam nyo namang prone talaga yan for auditory hallucination, you can ask, are you hearing voices again talking to you right now? Kung pwedeng gano'n. Tapos sinabi, I see dead people. Wala na. Sapuro na. 18 na. 83. 83? Oh. 83. The client said, hello, Span. Had 5B. There, I got. Blah, blah, blah. C, word salad. No? So, yun ang problema with the word salad. Talagang random yan. It doesn't make sense at all. It's actually the worst kind of thought disturbance that you can hear to your patient. No? 84. Primary gain. Oh, alam niyo na itong primary gains. And also the secondary gains. 84, dapat ang sagot yung I letter. Kala ko alam niyo na. 84 letter A. Diba? So clients with anxiety or clients with a certain disorder, no? The primary gain is to relieve the anxiety or the stress. So nangyayari, nagkakaroon siya ng signs and symptoms. So common yung primary gains and secondary gains na terminology kapag may nag-uusapan ng anxiety disorder, ang somatization disorder, yung mga somatic illness disorder natin. So dahil anxious sila o merong certain environment, may stressor, etc. So nangyayari, di ba primary gain, no? To relieve the anxiety, nadi-displace yung anxiety to what? Bodily symptom. Nadi-displace yung anxiety saan? Sa certain object, nagkaka-social phobia, nagkakaroon ng specific phobia, whatever. Okay? Ano ang secondary gain? Ang secondary gain is what? The attention or the sympathy or the benefit that they get from the other people around. Kasi may sakit sila. So ngayon, yung attention ng mga tao nasa kanya, so syempre masarap ang feeling na yun. It's actually the secondary gain there. Okay? O, malinaw yan ha. 85, a couple who are counseling report fighting with their son when they are angry with each other. The behavior is what? 85, letter dog. Triangulation. Yung bang sila yung may problema pero nadadamay yung tao. 86. An abused child is experiencing repression. Which of the following help her express her feeling? 86. Boy. Use drawing. Yung mga non-invasive way of assessing emotions and feelings, no? Play therapy, drawing, no? So hindi mo po pwedeng ipa-elaborate. Kasi painful na experience, nag-repression na nga siya eh. Palagyan natin na isang bata na naka-experience ng certain war crime. Papakwento mo pa. Hindi pwede. Hindi rin po pwede magbigay ng gamot. Malinaw na yan. 87. A client who was diagnosed with borderline PD tries to label the staff nurses as caring and boring. Alam niyo nangyari this letter boy. The splitting tendencies of clients with borderline PD. No? 87 boy. And you can attribute this to what? To a certain communication patterns within the family. Yun yung high express emotion. Now, yung sa splitting, probably we're able to read certain cases or questions, brain splitting ang sagot. So, dalawa yan. Ito yung isang signature question, no? Na they categorize people as as good or bad. No? So another description is splitting, wherein they cannot appreciate the fact that people have what? They are mixed bag of characteristics. So kumbaga, kaya may tendency sila na kapag nakita na, ay, eto masungit yan, masamang tao na agad yan. Parang gano'n. Ayoko na dyan, hindi ko na magiging beses yan, masungit. Parang gano'n agad. When in fact, malay mo baka yun lang ang pangit sa kanya, masungit. Pero the rest is okay. You get the point. So they cannot appreciate the idea that people have different characteristics at certain different points in time actually. So that's a possibility. Number 88. A client very frustrated about his inability to use the shower. He forgot how to use it. Ang tawag dyan ay letter C, apraxia. So remember itong agnosia, aphasia, apraxia, and also amnesia. That's the classic 4 symptoms ng dementia, right? You know the differences. Adjusia is something about the taste. Okay? Yung adjusia, yung letter A, it's something about the taste. It might appear in clients with psychotic concerns, psychotic disorders, no? As part of their hallucination. Or baka naman talagang merong certain concerns like brain tumor, whatever. Or po pwede rin somatic concern siya. No? Hindi ako nakakalasa, bakit ganyan? No? Yung pala kaya hindi siya nakakalasa pag yung tao yun na nagluluto. No? That's a creative way of thinking about it. That's a possibility. O baka naman kumain lang talaga ng mainit na Korean noodles tapos yung napaso yung dila. Pero hindi naman adjusia. Adjusia is more of a psychological phenomena, okay? Kung napaso lang yung dila mo dahil sa mainit yung lugaw or nag-French kiss ka, whatever. Iba yun. 89. A client told you that she snorts cocaine. Okay to Every time she has party, The client's use of cocaine is what? Ito medyo technical yung mga terms dito. It's letter O. Substance abuse. No? Alam niyo naman pinakaiba ng substance abuse, intoxication, dependence, diba? And even the withdrawal, the tolerance. Yan yung mga terminologies natin sa substance use. Please remember those things. Pag abuse, gamit ka lang more than what is required or what is allowed. Wala siyang idea whether you are dependent or what. Basta gumamit ka lang, hindi ka naman addict to that substance, yun yung substance abuse. The dependence, of course, that already involves physical and psychological withdrawal and even tolerance to that certain substance. Okay? 90. Which of the following statements shows therapeutic technique called focusing? 90 do. No? Kasi clients may what? Go with one topic to another flight of ideas. They may have loosening of association. They may actually have hurried speech, try to talk about a lot of things. So, pwede mag-focus ka. No? You're talking about your mother a while ago, and can we go back to that? And yun, ganyan. Ano yung letter A dyan? Clarifying, clarification, the letter A. How about the letter B? Ano yan? I can hear how painful it is for you. That's showing empathy. Diba? It's empathy, not sympathy. Yung sympathy, ano yun? Ano yun? Kasi ang empathy is you understand the client's feelings and situation, pero not necessarily you feel them. Pero pag halimbawa, beshies mo na yung tinalo, no, you just don't understand, you also feel their concerns. Sympathy na yun. Diba? Ano yung letter C dito? I know you hear voices, but I don't hear them. Ano yung letter C? Presenting reality or reality presentation. So, when you talk to your clients, Now, please remember na as a psychometrician, hindi lang kayo tanong ng tanong. Yun kasi ang laging, yun ang laging branding sa psychometrician. Yung psychometrician magte-testing yan. Yung psychometrician mag-assessment yan, magtatanong yan. Puro tanong, sagot tanong. Hindi. Sometimes, the client already tells you a lot of very heavy feelings. So, you also need to have this therapeutic communication with your client. And at the same time, if the way you communicate with your client is not on the therapeutic milieu, wala ka rin ma-assess na maganda sa kanya. No? So, you need to, tulad yan, yung focusing yan. Palagi yung gumagagamit yan, lalo pag ang client nyo, may flight of ideas, manic. So, 91. A client has recently had admitted for depression, suicidal ideation, with plan to hang himself. A client is at risk for attempting suicide when? Ito signature question ito. 91, dog. Weird, no? Pero this is a common observation. Clients who are depressed, of course, even mild, moderate, whatever. And then suddenly they feel okay. I mean, you know that they are on a 2 week, more than 2 weeks, they are depressed, etc., etc. Then suddenly they feel okay. Parang weird, di ba? There's some inappropriateness to it. Oh, sige, ako pa rin yan. All people can change, okay? No, sige, maging masaya ka. Pero biglang okay siya, tapos yung tipong naghahabilin, o tipong nag-thank you ha, ang bait mo talaga, etc., etc. Matakot ka, it sends signal that this client is actually will try to do or attempt suicide. So, expert opinion will tell us that you need to watch out for these occurrences. Mahirap na eh. At sabi nga nung mga kasama ko dati sa duty, any deviances na makita mo, parang may kakaiba, o you feel that there's something different this day on some of the patient, you trust your instinct. There's something different. You explore that feeling. Kasi there might be something there. No? It pays to err on the side of you want to be sure, no, that things are okay. Rather than, hindi, ano lang yan? Ano pa lang yan? Wala lang yan? Gutom lang yan? Yung ba tumakas na yung pasyente nyo or whatever, no? Or nagpatiwakal na. Okay. Tsaka yung mga suicide attempts ng client, ito kung mag-work kayo sa clinical setting, yung mga suicide attempts ng client, don't expect yung mga tipong yung meron silang mga yung planado. No? Yung iba sa kanila, abrupt lang. Mabilisan. Kasi they will try to circumvent with the facility. Especially kung yung facility nyo, talagang they are meant to be safe and secure. They will try all efforts, no, na makita nila just to kill themselves. Especially pag mataas yung suicidal ideation or yung intention. No? So, split second lang, biglang kung ano-ano lang gagawin. So, ang problema kasi doon, of course, kung kung yung facility nyo safe, tapos mag-a-attempt sila ng suicide, syempre hindi sila mamamatay. Dahil malamang kung ano-ano lang gagamitin niya. Pero ang mangyayari, magkakaroon ng injury, dagdag trabaho, problema, nakuha niyo yung point. So, either way, you prevent everything. No? You prevent these people to harm themselves, regardless whether it's suicide or whatever. Okay? 92. When responding to clients asking about dyspnea, you should state that the depressed mood needs to be present. Alam niyo na to, letter dog, no? At least 2 years, no? Or 2 years. 93. Psychometrician assesses a client with dissociative identity disorder for memory loss. That is 93, letter A. Loss of time. Bakit? Kasi syempre pag nag-switch siya ng personality from the host to the other identity, parang feeling niya, ano nangyari? No? Nalipat siya sa isang alter. Tapos biglang bumalik siya doon sa host identity niya. Hindi niya alam, parang nawala yung oras. That's a possibility. Okay? Most of the time, the host does not know about the altars. At least the literature will tell us. So yung letter boy, baka hindi siya posible. No? Kasi talagang hindi sila aware na may altars. Okay. So 94, cognitive explanation of anxiety disorder states that panic attack is boy. Cognitive eh. So hanapin mo lang ang cognitive dito na applicable sa panic attack. So 94, letter boy. Misinterpretation. Kala niya atake na siya ng puso, nag-himay-himatay. So kailangan, sa panic attack, whatever, kung saan mang disorder siya ma-appear, check nyo mabuti, baka nagmamalinger na. Ay, may ako, ay, himatay. Diba? Ay, si Manny nasuntok mo. Diba si Mami Junisha gano'n, kung ano yung matay pa. Ay, yung pala malingering lang. So, magkaiba yun, ha? I-check. Kasi sa malingering, walang, ang trigger niya, hindi about certain stress or anxiety. Okay? 90 na tayo. 5. Best communication strategy for client verbalizes different concerns, worries. Ang dami niya mong binabanggit. 95 is, dog pa rin, refocusing. No? Ganun pa rin, dog pa rin. Ano yung supportive confrontation? Ayan na, nadadagdagan yung ano nyo, yung mga ideas nyo about therapeutic communication. Ano yung supportive confrontation? Anyone who knows how... So of course, most of the time, when you talk to your clients, you don't confront them na ano ba yan? Alam mo naman palang mali, ba't mo ginawa? Alam mo yung term, yung ganong way. I mean, when you talk to your best friends, to your besties, no? Eh, alam mo na nga, loko-loko, pinatulan mo pa. Sino tanga? Ayan. Confrontation yun. Diba? Alam mo ng babaero, nagpaano ka pa, doon paano na, sino talo? Yung mga ganon, diba? Oh. Confrontation. Pero there's a technique wherein you can be supportive in doing the confrontation. It's not about how you, it's not about the tone, no? Na, besties naman, alam mo na, tanga. Hindi yun, ha? That's not how the way to do it. The idea is there are softer ways of telling certain things. Okay. So merong harsh, no? Merong savage, may harsh. There are praktikalan lang, and then there's a softer way of saying it. Yun yung supportive confrontation. Now, how to do it? Ganito. It's some kind of a reality presentation. For example, the client tells you, I promise to myself I will not drink anymore. No, that's my New Year's resolution, etc. etc. So, pwede mong sabihin sa kanya, na, yeah, I like your idea about your resolution. But you also said a while ago that just last week you had a beer spree with your friends. So, kung parang ipapakita mo lang sa kanya na, okay, sinasabi mo nga, pag New Year's resolution ka, hindi ka naiinom. Pero parang last week lang nag-party ka, what's the matter here? Parang gano'n. So you can present that. So, parang pinapresent yung reality, you confront certain thought of your client by presenting what? A certain idea na siya din naman na nagsabi. Okay? That's supportive confrontation. Okay? So yung reality presentation, of course, you know this. This is more relevant to clients with delusion and hallucination. Ano yung restating? So yung restating, sometimes the client cannot pull the right terms or words or minsan they confuse themselves also, no? When they talk about certain emotions that they have. So, po pwedeng magsabi siya na, ay, gusto ko nga lumabas with my mother, ganito, etc. etc. So, po pwede mong sabihin sa kanya na, with the things that you said to me, it looks like you're really happy with your mother, or it looks like your relationship with your mother is really doing well. So, gano'n, parang you try to restate a certain idea that, or certain groups of ideas that this patient tells you. Okay? 96. Individuals with personality disorders are what? 96, letter A. There's discomfort kasi the other people cannot understand them or cannot relate to what they are doing. No? And they themselves cannot relate to what. So, alam niyo na to, no? The differences between these items. 97. Which of the following information about personality disorder is true? 97, letter dog. No, unlike paranoid schizophrenia, paranoid PD does not have fixed delusion. No. So, iisa-isayin nyo lang kung mga items kung alin ang true. So, mali naman yung letter A, di ba? Suicide is actually common in borderline PD. Kasi they tend to have self-mutilation, they tend to manipulate other people. So, suicide sila. Yung letter B, mali din. Hindi lang naman medication ang focus ng PD. Actually, medications may not be given to clients with personality disorders at all unless they have other comorbid symptoms that warrants medication. For example, clients with borderline PD may also have depression. So, bibigyan din siya ng gamot for depression, but not because they have borderline PD. So, clients with the antisocial PD, baka bigyan siya ng medication, not because of the antisocial traits, but because they are becoming so aggressive that they need to be what? They need to be contained. No? They need to be calm at a certain moment. So, bibigyan siya ng mga neuroleptics or tranquilizers at that point. So, ano na tayo? Number 90. Serotonin has played significant role in explaining depression. Correct about the phenomenon. So yan, titignan nyo na naman isa-isa. The answer in 98 is letter boy. Di ba mababa ang serotonin, depression? Mataas, baka bipolar disorders or manic episode. Di ba? Naalala nyo yan? So mali yung letter A. Increased serotonin. Ang symptom niya, anhedonia, hypersomnia. O ano yun, di ba? Sa depression yan, feelings of loneliness. Mali na yung letter A. Mali na yung letter C. Reuptake is decreased. Ibig sabihin yung absorption is decreased. Ibig sabihin, sa synapses, marami. Kasi hindi siya na-reabsorb. So kung maraming serotonin, ibig sabihin, mania, hindi depression. Mali yung letter C. Mali rin yung letter dog. Kasi increased synaptic stimulation. So, pag na-stimulate yan, dapat rapid neuron firing yan, parang mania yan. Diba? Hindi depression. So, titignan nila isa-isa yung truth behind the items. Okay? 99. In relation to physiobiological nature of illness, which of the following is true about schizophrenia? The answer is letter A. Mababa ang dopamine, negative symptom. Okay? Ang acetylcholine, hindi naman sa schizophrenia yan eh. Sa dementia involved yan eh. Diba? Low acetylcholine, dementia, or certain memory concern. Yung letter C, mali. Kasi antipsychotic medication decreases bioavailability of dopamine. Kasi nga, di ba, mataas ang dopamine, schizophrenia. So, ang gamot dapat, papababain siya. Di ba? Yung letter dog, decreased ventricular, di ba, alam niya, increased ventricular brain ratio yan. Diba? So, kumbaga, these kinds of question will just assess you whether you really know the reasons behind schizophrenia. And, nililito-lito lang kayo, pinagbabalik-baliktad. So, you need to read and analyze very well the items. Madali lang siya kung tutusin. Nakakalito lang. 99 letter A, Number 100, which of the following is true about neurotransmitter? Letter dog. Natural precursors, tama yan. They are stored in vesicles pag hindi kailangan. And they combine with specific receptors. Tama rin yan. Okay? Okay, sige. So kung wala nang questions, we can go now. And we will reschedule the other ZP